Legality Viability. I, Sonia Albert, and Shaurya Mehra welcome you all. Talking about legality viability, ours is a student-led organization. We aim at providing excellent services to our partners and students who are ambitious to achieve their goals. We started our services on 1st April 2020, since we are partnering with different law colleges and students, thereby growing day by day. We have conducted various programs and competitions, incorporating hundreds of students' participation successfully, and some of the competitions were webinars, as well as client counseling competitions, workshops, blog writing competitions. Recently, we at Legality Viability, we came up with a new section named In Conversation With, in which we are conducting talks and interviews with eminent personalities. Before beginning this session, I would humbly request everyone to subscribe to our channel Legality Viability to get updated with our new and future videos.
It is indeed my honor to introduce Mr. Harshit Sarma sir. Sir has done his degree of BLB Criminal Law Honours from NLU Jodhpur with major focus on sports and fitness. After that, he did a Masters in Criminal and Security Law and then cleared the NTA NET exam in December of 2019. He is currently pursuing his PhD from NLU Jodhpur. Further, he has also cleared Rajasthan Judicial Services in 2018 and also secured 68th rank in Delhi Judicial Services of 2019. He secured All India rank of 15 and 23 in CLAT PG 2019 and 2020 respectively. We welcome you, sir.
Thanks a lot.
So, what would your initial childhood days be like?
What can you repeat? I can't hear you.
So, what were your initial childhood days be like? To be precise, what were your fondest memories at law school?
Majorly, my whole of the 5 years in the NLU Jodhpur, they were heavily revolving around the sports and fitness thing. So I was like right from the beginning, it was clear in my mind that I don't need to push myself like very hard in the studies. So I was having this goal of reaching 7.5 CGPA at the end of every semester, and I was accordingly scheduling my whole day according to this only, that I need to attend the classes and I need to work out in the morning and then game training session in the evening. So basically, so what people like me like most in the NLU Jodhpur, they were waiting for the whole year for the fest things to come, like fest of different colleges and especially our own fest Yuvarta. So winning laurels for the university. So that was one of my major aims. And when finally in 2018 I won gold in cricket and badminton, so that was one of the most satisfying moment for me. Like I think more than any achievement in law during those 5 years, this was the most satisfying and worth remember feeling for me. Like because I put it a lot of hard work. I was not putting so much of hard work in the academics thing, so I was not like expecting miracles to happen. But especially in the sports and fitness, I was like involving a lot, doing hard work in the day as well as night as well. So that gave me a very proud feeling for me, representing the university and further winning laurels. I mean, like very among the very best people.
Sir, it's great to know. And so from that, I got reminded of another question. So it's a belief that it's very difficult to maintain sports and fitness along with studies. But sir, you did it. So how would you like to say about that, sir?
It all depends on like your personal motivation. I think I am very motivated person. So I need to like I'm like having this restless feeling. Like if I don't do anything, I feel guilty of myself. So I always want myself to be involved in one thing or another. So I have some like I have demarcated some zones for me. Only in that zones I operate. So one thing is sports, another is fitness, and the third is academic thing. So I try equally to devote, like I try to devote time by an equal proportion to each of these spheres, so that I can maintain a balanced life. For me, balanced life. This is the definition of balanced life: having a good academic record, having some good achievements in sports and fitness, like keeping my body healthy, so that I can think positively and react positively. So I think 24 hours is like a very long duration. If you schedule your time properly, if you are not engaging in wasteful things, you are not engaging in drugs and other party like things, or even though occasionally, like it looks good occasionally. Otherwise, you can properly schedule your routine. I don't think that it is a very a very hard nut to crack. Very easy if you like, if you are motivated, you are determined, and I think once you have done this thing for 20 or 30 days, if you follow this schedule, if you may schedule like I need to study 6 hours, then I need to play for 2 3 hours in the evening, and along with the, some fitness related thing. So once you do a thing for 20 30 days, 1 month, 2 months, automatically it gains it like it
Mhm.
gets ingrained in your routine, it gets ingrained in your mind. When you stop doing those things, you feel bad. So like from the right from the beginning, from my childhood, my parents moduled my character in such a way that you need to study, you need to play sports as well. So it was not a big thing for me, because from the beginning only I am doing these things, like maintaining average in academics, average in there. So I was happy with that. I don't need to be perfect in everything, but I'm good to be jack of do two three things.
That's
So, sir,
very
would you be
inspiring.
continuing? So, would you be continuing the love for sports after you join the judicial services?
Yeah. That's the beauty of our government job, because like once you are done, it is not like corporate job that you need to carry the stress and the work
Absolutely.
at your homes as well. So basically, you need to go the court at 9 or 10, then the court gets and at 5 or 6, then it's your own time. Obviously, files comes at your home, but it is not acting as like corporates, like tier 1 law firms where they are working till two
Yes, sir.
or and then again going back in the morning in the 7 or 8. So that's not the case here. Like I see my senior officials also, they properly balance their life. They do fitness related things in the morning, and then they are attending court as well, delivering orders and
Hmm.
judgments. And the evening they have their leisure time playing badminton and cricket. So whatever. So like right from the beginning,
That's
this
great,
thing
sir.
was in my mind. Like I don't go to the corporate solely because of this thing, because I need to
Hmm.
focus on overall life.
Absolutely, sir.
Really great and inspirational, sir. And also, it reminds me of the proverb that if there is a will, there is a way.
Yeah.
Sir, what was that motivation behind you choosing law?
Uh, I think I personally idolize a person named Cristiano Ronaldo. So that's a very huge impactful factor in my life. Like I started to watch his games, his videos on YouTube. Like I started in third year. So the way the person every time comes out of his comfort zone, like everyone is in this whole world is criticizing him, and even after that he delivers. He especially delivers in the pressure situations, not in the बिल्कुल normal situation. His best comes in the pressure situations. So I every day try to learn something or other from him, like what are his good qualities, like reading articles on him. And definitely even after he is on the top of the world for like 10 15 years, winning the best player of the year, best player of the decade, every award is in Arsenal. And even after that he is focusing continually dedicated towards his goal. So I realized that we have done nothing in comparison to him. So why don't you put so much of hard work? Like why don't you come out of your comfort zone? You are young. You have your body working in a proper manner. You are at the top of your physical powers, mental powers. So like if we properly utilize all those things, it's not a big thing. Like achieving in academics, achieving in sports, it's very easy if we are properly dedicating our time, our efforts in the right channel and in the right direction. And one thing I want to like emphasize here is like you need a good company as well. You need a company of
Hmm.
seniors, you need a company of juniors, your colleagues who can guide you in the best possible way. Because every time we don't have the solution to a problem, we need to look upon our seniors who went through those situations. Because sometimes we feel very demotivated. We think that what we are doing, others are doing so good. So on those situation, on those parts of the life, you need someone who can guide you in the proper way. Because already you have the ability, you have the will to do those things, but what you need is a proper guidance. So I'm fortunate enough that in the NLU as well as in my personal life, I have a lot of people who guided me uh, on the best points of my life, so that I can achieve what I always wanted.
I think, sir, this is one attitude that we all should take in our lives.
Yes.
Absolutely, sir. So, just like,
Like we are in the legal profession, there should always be respect for the senior, irrespective of what they are doing. They are senior de facto, they will remain senior for the whole life. You need to have respect for them, because they helped you a lot in your college, they will help you in your profession as well. Don't look like once this college is over, this relationship was over. It's not going to happen. They will continue forever. Like we are in the profession, it is going to be forever till our end of lives. they are going to be senior. There is a reason why they are seniors. So I always have respect for seniors and love for the juniors, because juniors are also equally important.
Yes. So, sir, just like you said that Cristiano Ronaldo is your role model, I believe that some of the viewers and even us believe that you may be our role model for some of us, that you have managed to achieve so much at such a young age. So, and you are indeed an inspiration. So, I want to ask you that uh, what was the primary motivation and what made you achieve so much at such a young age?
First of all, I think that everyone is unique in their own sense. You can learn from other people that what they did, what kind of strategy worked from them. But everyone should have their own customized strategy, because no formula suits all. So I made my own strategy, and all these achievements like CLAT, PG, NET, Judiciary, LLM, PSD, these all happen step by step. These were never in my mind
Absolutely.
at the end of fourth year or fifth year. I targeted, like, let me tell you the timeline. So it started in after the end of ninth semester. I got this news of RGS notification coming from Rajasthan Judicial Services. So there were good number of seats. I just started the preparation in the November 2018. So pre was scheduled in 31st of March. Pre was scheduled on
Hmm.
31st of 2019. Along with that, I need to focus on my 10 sem as well. 10 sem is not so hectic, but still you need to maintain the attendance requirement. So that was a challenge, to maintain attendance and to simultaneously study for judiciary, where you don't have any background, you have not given any attempt. It's your first attempt, but the beauty of first attempt is that you are very motivated. You want to prove
Hmm.
that we can clear the first attempt. As compared to the second attempters and third attempters, although your knowledge is less, but you are far more motivated than them. So I started my preparation. Like, I gave day and night to the preparation so that I can clear in the very first attempt. So this pre thing happened on 31st of March. Simultaneously, my 10 sem was also going on. So then after giving pre, then the anthems came. Prepared for the anthems and simultaneously prepared for the CLAT PG also. So all these things are coming step by step. They were never in my mind that I need to achieve this or achieve this. So once CLAT PG happened in May 2019, I again shifted back to the preparation for mains. So mains happened in September. So like 4 months I got for preparation specifically for mains. Then immediately after this, I got this news of Delhi Judiciary notification. Otherwise, this was like out of 10 vacancies in Delhi Judiciary, because the normal
Hmm.
routine is that they give the notification in December, they conduct pre in January, and then conduct mains in February. So that happened that in 2019 as well, but due to some backlog and fresh vacancies, so they released the notification twice in that year for the conducting exams. So although I got less time, but I was studying regularly. I was in rhythm. Rhythm also plays a very important role. Like
Hmm.
if you are giving exams, so automatically it gives you upper hand as compared to person who is studying but not giving exams. So rhythm also plays important role. Like we see in cricket, like once a batsman uh, gets sats on the crease, he scores like
Absolutely.
century. So setting and having a rhythm is a very important factor. So I was in rhythm, I cleared pre, then mains after 2 or 3 weeks, then RGS interview, then LLM was also going on, then I prepared for this NET thing also, NET, because NET is like a little bit of difficult and more descriptive version of CLAT PG. So once you have
Okay.
studied for CLAT PG, I can say that you have made the base, just you need to meet the
Hmm.
building. You need to cover some more
Okay.
laws and then
Okay.
go in some depth. So that thing helped me a lot, and I cleared that as well. Then Delhi Judiciary interview came. So all these things happened like step by step. They were never like,
Hmm.
if you at point of time you will set your goals like, I need to achieve this three travel, three beat. So it's not going to happen, because all these things require
Hmm.
separate preparation material and like a separate amount of time. Like you cannot clear NET by studying for judiciary, or you cannot clear judiciary by studying for CLAT PG. All those things are
Hmm.
the three different paths. So I got the time. Uh, I was determined. I was having the will, and God favored me as well. Like that's the most important thing. Lot of people uh, study. Lot of people put hard work more than me, but there are like 30-40% things. I think that 60% is in our hands, but 40% is not in our hands. We need to like be dependent upon the circumstances. We need to favor, like pray to God, like God, please favor me. I have done my hard work. So those who didn't get selected doesn't mean that they are not intelligent as me or they're not hardworking. There was some there may be some adverse circumstances that happen their lives, or that doesn't happen. I was fortunate enough that this whole journey was smooth enough for me to clear all these exams. So my point to every aspirant is that set a goal, just a single goal at a time. Single mindedness should be there. Don't need to set up unrealistic goal that I need to clear all these three in the single year. First clear one, then move to the second, then third, step by step.
Absolutely, sir. So I believe, sir, what we all should take away from this is that there are no secrets to success, and it is all the result of preparation, hard work, and experiences.
Everyone is having their own point, like everyone has their own secret. Like this strategy worked for me. I can efficiently study in the morning hour. Some person will say that I can efficiently study in the night, and once they get succeed, they people say that they are secrets. So there is no secret. You need to identify the things what is working for you.
So,
Absolutely, sir.
what was your reaction, or how was your reaction when you got to know about your selection? So, could you please share those moments of happiness with us?
So I was very happy. Like as soon as I saw the notification, I quickly ran to my sister, my younger sister. So she is also preparing for CLAT. So I want her to pursue her in the case she gets selected. So like pursue from the same college from where I did my BLLB and Jodhpur. So I quickly ran to her. I said that I got the name. So she was not able to understand. So I show her the notification. So since it was in Hindi, she was unable to understand because Hindi is a typical Hindi. Whenever there is a notification in the Gazette or Rajpatra, so it is a typical like it requires a lot of time to understand and grasp the things. So she quickly saw the table, like the bhaiya's name is there. So she ran to mom. So mom was like shivering, like she was not able to understand for the 10-15 minutes. Like this, actually it happened, yeah. कि ये कैसे बन सकता है जज कि ये तो मतलब मेहनत तो right from the beginning they saw me like more of a sports oriented, but they
Yes,
never
yes.
know that he will deliver results in the academic field. Although mom is she trusts me a lot, like she has full faith on me as compared to the other family members. But it was a surprise for the whole family, like achieving all these things, and everyone was like very happy, very happy. Phones coming from around the country, like every person wishing me, WhatsApp, वगैरह. Well, I was not having WhatsApp, so everyone was calling on mom's phone or either on my phone. But reaction was like it's worth remembering. It's a very, very happy.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely, sir.
So, hearing this, we were able to visualize those things, sir.
Sir, I want to ask you something personally. That since you know that every state holds their own exam, so in what manner do we, choose to appear for the state GT exam? Like, how do we go about choosing a state? Like, is it completely a personal choice, or is there a reasoning behind it?
First of all, it's a personal choice. Like the state you belong to, like your home state, everyone has their preference. Home state, I always like 99% of the cases is like we want to go our home state. Then the second thing comes for the North Indians is Delhi. They focus on Delhi because
Okay.
Delhi is a small region. They make you metropolitan magistrate, and your salary thing is also high as compared to the other states. And
Okay.
most important thing is that you are transferred in a Delhi region only, the 30 to 40 kilometer radius wala region. You are deputed
Mm-hmm.
only in that region. And people who love metro life, they just try to be in Delhi. So when I went to the Delhi, when I was sitting in the Delhi interview, I saw like out of 40 people that day, 40 people interview was scheduled. So around 40, from 40, 20 to 25 people were already judges in some state or other. So
Okay.
even after people are sitting on those positions, they are giving Delhi judiciary exam because it is considered very prestigious. And second thing is that you are coming to the Delhi, you are into the capital. Everything accessible to you. You are not deputed
Mm-hmm.
in some of those things. You are in the metro. You are living the metro life as well. You are enjoying all the facilities. So that's one consideration. Delhi is the sole consideration behind Delhi, and a lot of work is carried out in English as compared to the other state. Like if you see Rajasthan, UP, वगैरह, so lower judiciary's work is still in Hindi or local languages.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Delhi, courtrooms are also good, infrastructure of courtrooms are also good, work is going on in English. So that's one factor. And the other things, like with people like me, they tend to favor the home state only. Like we want to be a home state, right? Like Rajasthan is a very huge state, so I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy the diversity and culture of Rajasthan because my father was also in government job. So
Okay.
he used to get posted in different places, and I like those places very well. So I am kind of person who is very happy in the small town as well. So I don't need to be in metros. So choice should be your personal choice, like you, but at least you should have a backup as a 3-4 states when you are preparing for judicial services. Like if you are North Indian, then you should have Delhi in your mind. Delhi should be the first preference. Haryana, UP, MP, and Rajasthan, because like those who are speaking Hindi, these are the only states. Like then Chhattisgarh,
Mhm.
Jharkhand, but only like I think that the people belonging to those regions only go give those exams. Like the people who belong
Absolutely.
to Rajasthan will not go to Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand. They can go to
Mhm.
they can go to UP, they can go to Delhi, Haryana, but not to Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand. So, like, you should have this backup option, because most of the time, like, course is same. The major laws are same across all the judiciaries. So,
Absolutely.
start preparing with the major law subjects, because once your major is complete, you have done the 50% job. Then, based on the notification, like which notification is in the recent future, you start preparing for the minor law subjects that are included therein, and local laws, or some if some GK, Hindi, English paper. So you need to strategize your whole plan. First, complete major laws, so that's major portion is already completed. Then, according, like if you see, like after 1 month there is MP, pre-MP mains, then Haryana mains. Then accordingly shift your preparation.
So that was a very detailed answer. Thank you for answering that. Um,
Sir, at what
so,
point of time, sir, you felt to be become a judge, or I should prepare for judiciary?
So it's after the end of fourth year only. Like you read lot of judgment. Like during the course or NLU also. So we need to witness Honorable Supreme Court and High Court judges coming and delivering lecture, and they saying that like you people from NLUs go to the corporate, and like we need such people in NLUs. We need people from NLUs to come to the judiciary. So they like this is a very bright career apart from the social prestige and other things. You get the opportunity to be part of this justice delivery mechanism. So you feel like you are in the you like some kind of other you are doing social service. You are part of justice delivery mechanism, like you are actually implementing the laws. What you have read in your law school, you are actually able to implement those things while you are sitting in the courtroom. So that things always fascinated me. Like when I saw the Honorable Supreme Court and High Court judges coming to the college, delivering lecture, the persona they have, the charismatic personality they have, the kind of respect they command in the society, and the way judiciary is correcting the things, like the lacunas from the legislature and executive. I respected a lot. The respect thing was the most important that motivated me to a part of this noble institution. So right from the beginning, I had this thing in mind, but I was not sure whether I was able to clear it or not. So after fourth year, I dedicatedly, like I decided, let give this attempt. Let's see where I hold. Let test the depth of the waters. So started preparation wholeheartedly. That I want to be a judicial officer. Like let the give this attempt. Let's we will see what happens.
So your efforts are really praiseworthy. We're
Huh?
happy to know that
so
it was a it was so your efforts are really praiseworthy. We are really happy to know about that. It all came out of the dedication, sir.
Yeah,
some may say that preparing and appearing for any competitive exam is a long and exhausting process. So, while preparing for your exams, was there any point in your life that you felt the same way and decided to give up altogether? And how did you deal with those situations?
it happens. It happens with every aspirant. Like if someone is saying that they were totally smooth, it was a smooth kind of journey, joyful journey, they are definitely telling you a lie. This doesn't happen. We all are humans, and we all are guided by societal pressures. Like we feel pressurized at some point of situation by seeing others. Like in my case, since I am from Energy Jodhpur, like people from my batch got PPOs in fourth year, then they were on day zero, day one, day two, they got placement offers from tier one law firms earning 14 to 16, 17 lakhs an annum. So definitely, although that was not the route I opted, that was never my intention. But you get influenced by like those people are doing very good job in their respective fields. And since this competitive exam, whether UPSC or judiciary, it is a three-stage process: pre, mains, and interview. So it takes around a whole year. You do a preparation for a whole year. Then this actual process takes a whole year. So you need to take out two very precious moments, precious years of your life at this age. Like people want to enjoy, like people think that this
Yes,
is
sir.
the time we should enjoy, why we are indulging in so things. And once you are preparing, like I always like deliberately kept a phone that was supporting only like calls and mails. So I was not having any WhatsApp, Instagram. Like I recently joined, like recently purchased a new
Okay.
phone to support WhatsApp and no. So I was totally cut off from everyone, even from my friends. Like few friends, I was involved with few friends. They were regularly calling me and motivating me, like don't break down. They were like they were ensuring that like I remain sane throughout this period, and they were giving me updates as well, like what is happening in their corporate world and what is happening with other people. So they really maintained my sanity, but it is a very like very testing process. Very, you need to be patient enough to clear those exams, because I already said that hard work and intelligence are a part, but they does not mean that you are able to clear the exam. They are just a few attributes you require to clear the exam. So you need to do hard work. You need to be patient enough. A long procedure. Many things will come. Many things will happen in your life as well. Some unfortunate events can also happen with your family or with your loved ones. You know,
Yes.
everything can happen. You can fall ill before the exams, before the means. Some people like they have this anxiety thing. Like although they have read everything, they are very well prepared, but during the exams or during the at the day of the exam, they feel like they're a little bit dizzy, not able to deliver to the 100%. So you need to be motivated enough. You need to see, like you need to visualize in your day or night dream that I am going to sit on that post. I am delivering, like I want to be part of just a delivery mechanism. So motivation is very much required. Patience is also required. That's why I always say that if possible, do your preparation by remaining at home, because home is a support system. The family members at home is a support system. People prefer to like they say that we are going to Delhi, we will take a room, we will study there, we will discuss with friends. Discussion is another thing. Like discussion, I think it has, but nothing can substitute the self study, the value of self study. What you are reading and what you are learning by yourself will always help you a lot as compared to the discussing things. Like we all know that discussion goes from here to there. We are discussing on this point, and like when we will end the discussion, we will find at the other extreme. So it doesn't favor,
Mm-hmm.
like it is not much important. So the beauty of home is that it helps you. It helps you in every way. You are getting everything prepared at your doorstep. You don't need to do everything. Food is prepared. You are eating fresh food, which reduces the chances of getting ill. You are getting a healthy food. You are living in a very, like you have your own room, your personalized space. You don't need to be in a room, shallow room, having no daylight,
Mm-hmm.
using. So these things are in long run. Although 1 week, 2 week is good, but these things in the long run definitely impacts your overall behavior and personality. Like preparation is a long journey, 1 or 2 year journey. So why don't you do at a place where you can find the inner peace, where you have the support system, where the people are there to back up you in the bad times. Like it, although I cleared in the first attempt, what if I was not able to clear in the first attempt?
Mm-hmm.
So the situation gets pathetic day by day. You see UPSC aspirants, it is a trap. They are giving first attempt,
Yes.
second attempt, third attempt, fourth attempt. They are living in the same room. Their whole world is that same room. 10/10 ka wo whole room is their same room. So when they come
Yes,
out
sir.
of this phase, although especially when not getting selected, the whole life like they're totally a
Mm-hmm.
different person. Like their lost their mental sanity and everything happens. So be part of your home. Nobody at every. I think that today's parents are well educated and they understand the importance of preparation and education. So they don't disturb their children. They let them prepare wholeheartedly. So these things help me a lot.
Absolutely,
So,
sir. That was really insightful.
so as we all know that there are three stages for appearing for judicial exams. That even without coaching, you just cracked with so easy these judicial exams, uh, having a prestigious rank, sir. And also, so from your talk, I got understood about the importance of self assessment too.
Yeah, self-assessment is very important. Like when I used to study, like after doing multiple revisions, I tried to solve questions from the previous year papers, like objective and subjective tab both. And once I was done with solving previous year questions, I refer to a coaching for the purpose of mains test series. So I purchased their test series so that I can write answers. But due to paucity of time, I was not able to write the answers. But I was clear in my mind because in NLUs we had a habit of giving regular tests in the form of CAs, midterms, and anthems. So I was in a habit of writing answers. So that was not an issue for me. Like if content is in my mind, I was sure that I can write it on paper in any way you want. So I was aware of the structure of the answer, that how we need to structure the answer for a 2 mark question, for a 3 mark question, for a 4, 5, 10 mark question. So that was not a problem for me. The main problem was that whether I was able to retain all these contents, because in our semester exams we just need to learn, we need to remember a single law, like tomorrow we have paper for IPC or CRPC, but
Mhm.
I'm not accustomed to this thing that 10 or 15 odd laws are coming at a single day, and that too during like you have a shift of 9 to 12 and then 3 to 6. You need to give 2 papers in a single day. So that's a very hectic task, remembering all these laws and then penning down in the paper. So I orally solved all those questions because multiple revision was my main focus, so that I can remember the things, I can establish the interlinkage. So I orally solved all those questions, whether I was able to get through them. And those I was not able to get through them, I refer to my seniors, like what can be the possible answers. Although they are not in judicial field, but still they have read the law, they can guide you. Like you can get the opinion, like what can be the other side as well. So definitely help.
So you refer to some commentaries and test series. So would you like to share the names of the also the books and sources which you refer to?
A full depth article for CLAT, PG, NAT, and Judiciary. So it got published on Octopus Law School. So I will forward you the link. You can share it with
Okay.
all. I refer to the
Okay.
what were the preparation sources and what way I studied. But definitely I gave it a word of caution. I gave it a word of caution. Like the things we refer for the academic and research point of view, the books are totally
Mhm.
different for the ones we refer to the competitive point of view. So some
Okay.
people say
Okay.
substandard books. They say that they are substandard. They are not substandard because uh, you need to focus only on those things on which you are being tested. You need
Mhm.
to use those long, heavy commentaries because they are not of the,
Mhm.
this point of time. If you are reading those, then you are reading only that commentary before your exam. You will not be able to cover all those subjects. So you
Okay.
need to specific. You need to take the material that best suits you, that is providing, that is suiting to your needs. So
Mhm.
definitely, there is a difference between academic and research point of view, and those things required for the clearing competitive exams point of view. So I have prepared a list of all the books for the major subject, minor subjects, and what can we can refer for the to solve the question. So I will forward you the link.
Thank yes, yes, sir. Please forward this and we'll share it with the viewers also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sir, as we all know that there are three stages mainly for preparation of these judiciary exams like prelims, mains, and interviews. So, sir, what were the strategies you applied on all these stages? So, if you're sharing those, it will be really helpful to those judicial aspirants who are doing their third to fourth year right now at college.
So, like a lot of people have a habit of like preparing specifically for pre, and then once they clear pre, then they shift to mains. So that was never my strategy. So right from the beginning, I studied from the barracks and then commentaries. So people say that commentaries are from subjective point of view and they help you in mains. So I studied commentaries during my this before pre as well. So I was studying the barracks, I was studying the commentaries. So it was doing a dual role for me. It was I was getting prepared for the pre, I was getting prepared for the mains. So the time I got after pre and between the mains thing, that was the additional time as compared to the other people who were just sitting and doing the objective type things and then leaving the rest to be completed once they clear the pre. So this 4 months thing was additional time. So right, I always advise people that do a preparation that can help you clear the mains, because pre is only a screening part. The numbers you are
Yes.
scoring pre is not going to be counted in the final merit. Your selection gets decided on the basis of mains mark. What you do in mains decide whether you are going to be a judicial officer or not. Because some people score such a high marks in means that even interview thing, even they get less marks in interview, they are already made to the merit list. So you can't solely
Mhm.
rely, because you don't know what's going to happen in the interview and how the honorable judges who are sitting on the other side are going to value you. So that's not in our hand. We can just only prepare. And the main things, I think that means is the most predictable thing, where you can accordingly to your efforts you can score marks. But sometimes people say that they had a very good interview but they didn't score marks, and some people say that they just the interview was average but they got good marks. So it always depends on the other person, how they perceive your answers. So don't rely on the interview stage, just keep it as a bonus stage. You need to score so many marks in the
Okay.
mains stage only, that you are able to clear on the basis of mains mark. The interviewer marks are just a bonus. Either they can take your rank to the top, or they can just reduce your rank. So just whenever you're starting to prepare, start from the barracks, because barracks help you to understand the nature and theme of the sections you need to, because rectification hota hi hai. So you need to remember the section as well, the section, what is the content of the section. But once you have read the barracks, then focus on the commentaries, because what is the interpretation given by the courts, what are the important cases on that topic, how the interlinkage between law happens, that can only tell that can be tell by only a good commentary. You are not going to find those things in the bare act. Bare act is just giving you a law passed by the parliament. So these two things, if you are studying them regularly, you are automatically preparing for the pre as well as mains. And the interview thing, like apart from the questions they ask you about your personality, or your what you achieved during your, like what you did during your college days and all these things, they focus on the majorly. I thought I experienced that they focus more on the law portion only, law from the major subjects only. In Delhi interview as well in Rajasthan, both these places I secured good marks in the interview, and my interview was focused morely on focus majorly on the law portion only. So they hardly touch. I think that because this is not a UPSC interview, because you are going to be a judicial officer. What the honorable judges will test is your patience, your integrity, whether you have those qualities to sit on the test, and whether you are sound enough with the law. Although they are clear in their mind that this person is sound enough in the law, that's why he cleared the mains. But still they put up some questions just to test you, like whether you are able to manage the courtroom, whether you are able, whether your personality is such that you can handle the courtroom, whether where there are so many advocates and everyone's trying to like put up their point, whether you are getting emphasized via their point, or you have your own view based on what the books say. So
That's really interesting.
as your preparation should be in such a way that you can clear all the three stages. No specific preparation. Like during mains, you can, the one specific thing you can do is like answer writing, judgment writing, charge framing things. And during three things, you can solve the objective questions. Apart from that, the material you are reading, it should be only a single material, quality wise material. Don't need to refer each and everything whichever you are finding on the internet, because like if you see the success stories, every person from UPSC and judiciary background, they said that matter should be limited, but it should be a good matter, and do multiple revisions of that matter. Don't go for like this coaching institute are also providing free of cost material. That let's read this, let's read this. No, no, this is not going to help you, because it will just increase your load only. So just focus on a single material. It will help you clearing pre. It will help you in clearing mains. It will help you clearing interview as well.
So, you're going to join as a judge very soon, and your training would start. So, sir, what I wanted to ask uh, that the law in books and the law applied in reality, are they very different?
So most of the time, like during our law schools, we study substantive laws. So very less focus is given on procedural laws. But once you come to into the real life, you know, you start to know the importance of the procedural laws, because many times you will find that the whole case is dependent upon the procedure. The case
Yes,
gets
sir.
struck off on the basis of procedure only. So these books are like the course of judiciary is set up in such a manner that they cover majorly the procedural laws. Substantive laws are also there; they ask questions from there. But the main difficulty, I think, that like the most of the aspirants find is with the procedural laws, because they are not clear. Even I would not say that I am clear, very clear with the procedural laws. Still, there everything to like anything like there are a lot of things to learn every day. If you read, you will get a different perspective. The more number of times you will read a particular thing, the more number of perspectives you will get. And once you get selected, then you have some state-specific laws to read. Like there is a general criminal rules and civil rules, according to which the whole case is governed. So you are given a book, you need to read this. The major laws, although they come into your use, but the more importantly used laws are those framed by the High Court, the general civil and criminal rules framed by the High Court. So in training thing, that's why there is a training period of 1 year.
Yes,
They
sir.
actually do the things which are going to be regularly used by a judicial magistrate.
So, sir,
So there is
falling upon this, yes, sir.
always a
Yes, sir.
difference between what we read and what we
Yes, sir.
actually. There is always a
Absolutely.
difference.
That's what I wanted to ask. So, sir, following up on the same, what is the most important quality a judge should possess while passing a judgment, according to you?
So you need to hear the other side, like the audio altram patram rule. You did the
Yes, sir.
principles of natural justice you always need to keep in mind. Like you cannot have your own bias and perception. You need to hear the parties, then apply the law and give the judgment. For that, you need to hear both the parties very patiently. You need to be impartial. You must be a person of character, integrity. Like you don't need to get like influenced or like one like if some plaintiff's advocate is a senior advocate, is a very reputed advocate, another advocate is just a novice. So you can't give weightage just on the basis of that person's that he is a senior advocate, he must be knowing. You don't need to have any perceptions. You when you are coming to a court, you are coming with a like wheel of ignorance. You don't know anything. You just know the facts. So whatever you are going to pass is on the basis of the file you are having. You just don't focus like you are like suppose you are like judge, judicial magistrate sitting on the case of Sushant Singh Rajput. There, like if you are
Yes.
like if you are influenced by the media trial, you are going to convict Chakravarti on the same day. So that's not going to happen. You need to get aloof from all these things, especially media. If you are referring to something, then refer to the judgments only. That's the only media for you. The judgments passed by the Honorable Supreme Court and High Court, that are the media for you. And the facts presented by the parties and then charge sheet filed by the police. That is the ambit. You can't refer to the what newspaper said that, what the media said that. So obviously there are a lot of conflict of interest situations. So you need to eliminate yourself. And one of the most important quality of judge is that like you need to be little bit, I think, introvert. You can't be more so like
Social.
you don't need to make so many contacts that can actually harm you, because people will say that I know him, ये तो मेरा भाई है, he will take the case, देख लेगा, है ना. So you need to have a limited number of contacts, especially in relation to the case. If you think that it can have some conflict of interest, like this advocate is my friend, like who is going to present the case, the best thing is that accuse yourself, tell your senior that I can't take this case because of conflict of interest. So impartiality, integrity, following the ethics of the code, and most importantly, respect for your seniors, your senior magistrates, your senior honorable High Court and Supreme Court judges. That is the law for you. Whatever they say, they are the persons who are going to help you in every circumstance. So always have respect for the advocates as well. Always have respect for the senior officers as well. Advocates are equally important of this justice delivery mechanism, because we are judges only because they are on the other side. Otherwise, we have no value without advocates. We, as the Honorable Supreme Court has
Absolutely.
time and again said that bar is the mother of bench. So obviously, bar is always a very respectable position in our profession. So we need to respect them. We can't just say that we are judges and that's why we have more knowledge than them. That doesn't happen.
Absolutely,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
you're right. We should inculcate values as well as professional ethics. Sir, what is your views on current BCI press release on mandatory 2 years of practice before judicial exams, appearing for judicial exams?
It's just, I think that it's just their opinion. They'll just release the press note. It was a press note. It has no legal bindingness, and already we know that there's Supreme Court, Honorable Supreme Court in 2002, which say that there's no requirement of having prior experience. So even if they have just filed, there's an intention of filing the party implement. They want themselves to be implemented as a party in the case. So it will
Okay.
take a long time. Even if I say that all the things are going in their favor, even if it will take 4 to 5, 6 years, because obviously the matter needs to be referred to the constitutional panel. There will not be a lot of parties involved from the aspirant side, from the other side as well.
Yes.
So a lot of deliberation will happen. And already once Supreme Court has said that, I don't think that they will entertain it. They have more matters of importance. They already rocket exploding because of this COVID. Since court was
Yes, sir.
having restrictive functioning, judges are time and again saying that just come with the important cases, like we don't have time. Like people are regularly filing frivolous writ petitions just to get publicity. They are
Yes, sir. Yes.
judges are saying that be mindful of your profession. It is a noble profession. It is not a profession just to get marketing or just to get your name. So I think that already Japan high courts are providing you training before you are being actually appointed to the post. I don't think that the 3 year is like it's a good step, because already people are studying like from good law colleges. We have 5 year law course now, which focuses more in more depth as compared to the 3 year law course. And then once you have cleared the judicial services exam, you are being given field training as well as as well as theoretical training with regard to your regular work. And obviously, you have always your seniors who can guide you. And there is,
Yes, sir.
I don't think that there is a case where like actually there is nothing on record which shows that the judicial officers who are appointed after this, directly after the exam, after 1 year of training, are less competent than those who got selected after doing
Absolutely.
advocacy 5 6 years. You know,
Yes.
there's
Yes.
nothing on
Yes.
record. What goes on the basis of evidence? Either you show that there is evidence, just making just remarks like this, ki, judges are not good or they are not good. You see, go to lower judiciary, how refined are their judgments? Like,
Hmm.
was I that High Court, Honorable High Court, appreciating the judgment of the lower court judges, that like they are doing good in their fields. So there is no need, and don't need no need to get worried for any aspirant. Like Honorable Supreme Court not going to do anything that will affect a lot of people.
Thank
Absolutely.
you so much for sharing your views on this topic.
Thanks for clearing that query, sir. I believe a lot of students had that.
Our work is to do hard work and do preparation. All the rest of the things leave. Uh, like Bar Council every day comes out with some other notification or other, like stamping the LLM course. Etc. So these are
Yes,
all
sir.
the intentions, and like what legally happens, we need to be aware of that. There's nothing going to legally happen as of now in recent future. You know? So it can have their own positive impacts as well. Like
Yes, sir.
obviously, one coming after practical training of 3 year will be having more refined knowledge, but initially you are given the cases of like lesser importance. You are not going to sit on cases. It will all happen only with time. Like once you are done 2 year, 3 year as a
Yes,
judicial
sir.
officer, then only you will be allotted matters like which can have like sensitive matters, important matters. Otherwise, you are initially given petty matters so that you can learn, you can learn and understand. So there is no problem of having judicial officer directly coming without an experience.
So, coming on to the concluding question, given the opportunity, what big changes would you personally like to see or initiate in the judiciary for its future betterment?
Like a single person cannot bring any change. Like it's like people go that we can do, यार हम बदल देंगे, सब कुछ बदल देंगे, वो कर देंगे, ये कर देंगे. It doesn't happen. It is a uh, whole system. Whole system, our like system is made after many deliberations. People who are more intelligent, more experienced are already sitting there. So you need to like. I think that system automatically gets into the positive direction if you are regularly following the directions of your officers and your honorable Supreme Court and honorable High Court judges. If you are going to the court after reading the judgments of the High Court and Supreme Court and quickly applying the law, rather coming back to the home and saying that giving the adjournments. Like the main problem is like giving the adjournments. Like if you are well read, obviously you have this personality among the advocates that Judge Saab is not going to give adjournments. He will listen the case today. He will decide the case today. So obviously, it will definitely the change start with you. You yourself incorporate the change. Reach to the court before time. Uh, be well read. Be well aware of the latest judgments of the Honorable High Court and Supreme Court. And be friendly with your staff. Like your lower staff is the most important. The staff around you, your personal assistants, your stenographer. Uh, they all are very important. So be have amicable relations with them. Like don't impose yourself. And listen their views also because they are already in the profession for many years. They know many officers came and many officers went. They know how the system works. So you need to have a harmony among them. You need to listen to the advocates as well. So try to bring the change in your own code rather focusing on the whole system. Be efficient with your own work, and that can happen only when you are well read, when you are regularly following the updates, when you are regularly following the guidelines, and equally listening to the other party as well. Don't be too rigid that this is my opinion, this is going to be the law. You need to change. You need to understand. You need to listen to every person. That's our job. We
Uh,
need to listen. We need to listen and then decide.
Absolutely, sir. I think what we all should take away from this is that if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And with this,
Pointing out the like deficiency. Every system has its own deficiencies and own merits and demerits. So bring the change. If you want to bring the change with yourself. Like be on
yes.
time in the court. You can do if you think that matters are like there is a docket explosion. Take like sit in the court for more number of hours. Like don't take like if the court is ending at 5, you can say that I will sit for half an hour or more, 1 hour more. Take the files with you at home so that you can read overnight and can come to the court well prepared, disposing of the case quickly. So all these things are important. Like we can make very big changes by making change in ourselves.
So it is great, extremely great to know that we have young budding judges like you who have like such a clear vision of what they want to do and put the judiciary at a higher pedestal. And this brings us to the end of the interview. I would like to thank you, sir, for joining us online and enlightening us with your knowledge of law and judicial service exams in particular. And I believe today's session was full of deep insights, and we surely hope that it has motivated and helped the viewers in a way or two.
Yeah, thank you. I also want to personally thank the team of Legality Viability for providing me this wonderful opportunity. You both being wonderful hosts, like the questions asked by you, definitely uh, everything was related to me. I think that once I have cleared this exam, I always feel that this is the time where I can pay back to the society, especially to my law fraternity, because every day on the LinkedIn, I think I saw some success stories as well as some failure
Absolutely.
stories. There is no success. Like you cannot say that there is success and success everywhere. There are a lot of people who are struggling, uh, but they are very intelligent. They are very determined, hardworking. What they need is just the right guidance, right people in their lives. So I am very fortunate that I got those people. I want to be like those people who can guide other people like to accomplish their dreams, because many people are like hardworking but they don't have the resources. So I'm trying my best so that I can help other people to clear the competitive law exams, especially competitive law exams, so that people can leave. I will like they can contribute to this law profession in a
Yes,
active and meaningful way. That I think I
absolutely.
the goal. That should be the goal till my training is start. Even after training, I can do the things pro bono. Helping is never a restriction. Like if you are guiding someone, that's not an issue, and it's a responsibility. Like once you are senior, you have a responsibility of guiding your juniors and your like colleagues. It's a noble profession, and profession grows only when you help other people grow.
That's really great of you, sir, and we wish you all the success. And once again, I would like to thank you, Mr. Harshit Sharma, sir, for taking out time from your busy schedule to enlighten us with knowledge as well as to spare all our technical issues. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks a
And
lot.
also,
Thank,
I would like, yes, sir.
thank you. Thank you.
Thanks. And also, I would like to thank our student committee who worked hard to make this session fruitful as well as to make this event successful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir.
Okay.